Hello, Divine Sunshine. This is Divine Sunshine. I am your intuitive spiritual life coach. I'm here doing today's reading is going to be Ask the Archangel Gabriel um, to help uh, Gabriel. So I say Gabriel because I think about thank you. He clicked like Gabriel because I think about Gabriel Union. This is what we're going to talk about today. So I want to say this. I was watching the episode yesterday, which was the finale for Being Mary Jane. That's what I'm going to title this. And if you watched that show, you seen the struggle that the they call it Mary Jane, the character that was going through that Gabrielle Union played. You seen her going through her struggles through relationships. To me, that pretty much showed a divine feminine's kind of journey of going with a lot of like soulmates, karmic, a lot of karmic lessons in the journey of love, finding the right person. So I think his name is Michael Eason. He was, I forgot what his character's name, but the actor. She towards the end, they had kind of been going back and forth, going through their issues, and the episode of Being Mary Jane kind of ended kind of interesting because the way it ended, it was just like they had gotten to this big fight, and it was just like, oh, he had left, and she was kind of like left stranded, and that was just like the end of Being Mary Jane. And that was very upsetting to Gabrielle Union because she was like, that's not usually how episode kind of leads off. We didn't put any kind of closure on it. I mean, at least kind of have her kind of at least walk away with somebody. You just left the people just hanging. And as you watched the episode last night with the finale, you've seen a lot of the plights that could be aligned with what the divine feminine goes through, which is, the character Morris Chestnut, I think his name is Beauregard or something like that. Um, he kind of drifted in and out of her life. He seemed like to me that he could be a role of a soulmate. And he kind of cleaned himself up beforehand, and the family was teasing us, saying, "Oh, he a nerd." He was kind of heavy. He wore glasses then, and then by the time they seen him, how Morris Chestnut looked, and you like, whoa, okay. She had went on ahead, just like all divine feminine, some kind of way in their journey they are now. She's like, forget the role of Michael Eason. I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing as a divine feminine. So I'm gonna get the things that I want. So she always wanted a child. She had her eggs frozen, and she went on ahead after Michael Eason had left. She's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on my journey to make things what make me happy. And so she went on ahead and got pregnant, had got herself inseminated. She had and it took the baby. So by the time when she had gotten, and she found out that she was pregnant, or she went and got the artificial insemination, Michael Eason came back, and she's like, okay. So, it's like, okay, should I tell him? So he came back, he proposed and said, I want to marry you. So, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She went on ahead and said she's going to go ahead and, if you have, well, you should have, because it was last night, but you had on DVR, so it's a spoiler alert. So, she went on ahead and said, okay, yes, but then she's like, I got to get honest. So one day he came home, and she was trying not to have sex with him because she wanted the baby to be able to take, So when you have artificial, you can't have orgasm. So if she said she had an orgasm, she'd lose the baby, it wouldn't take. So, she's coming all different kind of creative ways to say, we don't, to have sex, oral sex, and anal sex, all kind of different kind of things. So anyway, so, after a while, he's like that. So then she went and took a pregnancy test the next week, and then found out she was pregnant. She ended up telling him, and he was like, okay, why didn't you tell me at the beginning? So I don't want this package deal. I want you, but I don't want the kid. So then, I see 444. So that's the angel. So then that was the end of that. So he left and said, I love you to death, but I can't do this. I didn't sign up for that. I wish you would have told me at the beginning before I proposed, help me to make a decision, but you didn't, so deuces, I'm out of here. Meanwhile, the soulmate, the DM checks out. The soulmate comes right on in. So she's going ahead about life. You see her later on. She's beginner. She's like maybe deeper into her trimester, maybe about first trimester, 4 months, something pregnant, something like that. So she runs into the soulmate, which is played by Morris Chestnut. He's saying, oh yeah, things have changed. I tried to get with you. I was divorced. You didn't want me. They going back and forth. Like, well, at that time, her eyes for someplace else. So they played that dance, the dance of the cranes, going around and, that stuff. So then it came down to it. She's like, well, I'm in this Lamaze class. I'm the only one there. I feel bad. So one day he had waited. He's like, he was there for dentist appointment. And so he's like, I just happened to finish. If you want me to be your Lamaze coach or your partner, I can be here. I'll be here with you. So one thing led to another. Of course, he didn't, before with the journey of getting the baby. She goes ahead and has the baby. The baby is premature. And then, of course, he's there. He's helping her to raise the baby, for some point. And so then her friend, who is a director of the news show, because Being Mary Jane, if you had not seen it, is a newscaster. So she's got this own show, almost like Gayle King on Good Morning America. And so then she's like, she's saying, and she's talking, and she has her own show. And so then meanwhile, her friend, who's the director of the Good Morning show, she finds out she has cancer, so she's got to take off. And so then she calls, just so when she has the baby, and the baby, she's on air. And then all of a sudden she's like, everybody thinks she just having Braxton's Hicks, and finds out that no, actually she's in labor. And she's like, it's too early. So she does that, goes, oh my God, I'm in labor, on air. Everybody sees it, everybody tweets about it. And so then Justin, that's his name, Michael Easton's name, character's name. Justin sees this on the air, goes to the hospital, says, she all right? And she's like, okay, well, I just want to see if she okay. Don't let her know I'm here. Don't forget it. So her friend, he's telling all this stuff to the best friend. So the best friend says, okay, well, while I'm in, she gets this idea, well, while I'm here for this cancer, giving me this double mastectomy, what I want to do is, she said, I'm going to have him come in and fill in, because he was once upon a time the director of the show. Long story, you have to see the whole episode, know why that happened, why he kicked off and went on someplace else, and she ended up with it. So went on ahead. He becomes the director, the substitute director for a day. And so then she's like, how did this happen? So a friend was talking about, oh, I don't know how that happened. No, and she's the one orchestrated it all along. And so when it came down to it, she's like, well, why you let him come back? She's like, I feel like you all got unfinished business. So the guy, the soulmate, and the DM, which is Morris Chestnut, is the soulmate. The DM is Michael Easton, which is Justin. Bo and Justin, they have a match off right there in the newsroom. They going at it, they this, and if you was here, this wouldn't happen, and they going back and forth. So anyway, so Michael Easton knocks the mess out of Morris Chestnut. He leaves. He's wounded. She goes after, Michael Easton, see how he's doing, if he's okay. Ask what happened, why did he come to the hospital, yada yada. Things exchange. They have sex. Then they come back. So then, she's like, well, the babysitter calls and say that I got to leave because my daddy's ill. And so then she's like, okay, well, I got to go to my back home because the babysitter's got to leave. Michael Easton comes home with whatever. The baby, lo and behold, she's like, he doesn't want kids, remember. So now he begins to bond with the baby, because the baby has, not whooping cough, colic. He's colicky. And so they say, well, go into the shower, run some hot water. Then now kind of soothe the baby. They go in there. She said, I got to go get some, fix a bottle. Okay, you just watch the baby real quick. He does. He goes there. She goes and go get the bottle. He's left there with the baby. They bond. He's singing songs back and forth with him. And so lo and behold, he didn't fall in love with the baby, you know. He come out there, lo and behold, somebody rings the doorbell, she getting the bottle. And then there he is, standing, Bo, the soulmate, standing by the door, saying, I'm sorry, got the roses. And then he's like, okay, well, no, I'm sorry. He proposes. Meanwhile, here come Michael Easter come from right back with the baby in arms, and he looking at him like, I be damn. So there go the end to the soulmate. And so then, lo and behold, fast forward, she ends up marrying the DM. So, which is Michael Easton. Okay, he falls in love with the thing. So while we watching the show, my mom is like, you know what? It seems like to her, she's like, you know what? Why? She knew he was going to end up. She knew that Gabriel Union was going to end up with Michael Easton, which is the DM. She said, I knew she was going to end up with him eventually. And she's like, you know, but yeah, she said, but, you know, you got to understand that a lot of times that, you know, when you have a child, she said, you know, you try to go on ahead and do for the benefit of the child because you figure you and the child is a package deal. And so I'm saying this, that a lot of times, the whole gist of it is a lot of times is us as divine feminines, we'll find ourselves settling because we're like, okay, but this person is here. The character of Morris Chestnut was a excellent total package deal. Had his own money, had his own business. I mean, he could fly. He had his own jet. He saw those company jet. You know, he loved the baby. He was there. He was caring. But something about it is it's a little bit of a package deal that is missing. And I was thinking about some things even in my life when I was watching it, saying, you know what? Yeah, that's how the Callous, you know, soul twin was, or that was how this one. And I was thinking about, I said, how many of us divine feminines are out there just kind of pretty much like just settling for the saying, you know, it looks like a real good package deal. It does, but it's missing something. It's missing that one little element that only the DM can bring in. So when they was at the barn scene, they were pretty much doing some things that, you know, they was talking, and she was like, you know, yeah, we watched the movie Boomerang, and, you know, like, only you can get that scene that when they having a boomerang, it was something about somebody said some line, and they was going back and forth, and they was like doing and mimicking the scene. It's little things that the DM gets about you, and you all kind of link that has that same commonality that the soulmate can try, but they can't get it all the way. Something had came to me also when we're talking about okay. That's interesting. I wanted to rest. Okay, let me see. There is an element when we're talking about the divine masculine that you know, we've got to remember that when we are, to me, I've gotten to this point, it's kind of hard when you're thinking about the divine masculine with the 5D self and this 3D thing, and how to kind of like separate the things, because a lot of times, you know, that DM, especially when we're on this journey, and it brought to me, I hope that it brings it back to me how I said it, when we're on this journey, we have a tendency that us is saying deuces to the whole thing, that we're kind of forgetting that the DM 3D self and the DM's 5D self is kind of almost like two, they're the same entities, but they're not. Okay, so you know, like today I was working with myself and detaching with it. And you know what? I was like, you know, I got to kind of leave the 3D him kind of alone in order for me to detach and not kind of penalize the 5D divine masculine as we're going through this kind of like journey, because you have to remember that he represents really the purity of the divine masculine, like this real love, unfiltered, unconditional love that you do that. I could think about times that the divine masculine has hurt me very much so, and I can feel the DM saying, come here, his 50 self say, come here and cuddle me and say, oh, I'm so sorry he did that. That was, I don't know why he wasn't listening, and it seems like it's kind of like it's two different things. You got to remember that, like you say, that's his avatar. That that's kind of like, it's almost like a game. You're conducting, you're the person behind that. And sometimes when you playing games, you say, I meant for that thing to jump now. Why it's not jumping? And it's just like it's control. So I may not be saying, but I'm saying it in layman's terms that don't forget that love. Some of you all that's saying forget it on this journey, but don't forget about the love that's from the DM's higher self. Them is kind of like two different things, and not to pull it on. So those of you all that's saying, like deuces to the journey, I can understand you saying really deuces to the 3D, deuces to the 3D divine masculine. You're not really saying deuces to the 5D DM. It's that connection of that love. When we talk about, you always still be connected on the 5D level. You're still going to be connected to that part of him. It's the other one. Now every now and then he'll come into the 5D, will come into the driver's seat of the 3D, and you can feel it when it shifts, that purity, that sweetness, that's love, that's untainted thing. And then you see it go zap back into the 3D part of him. So right now what I wanted to do, you have I just wanted to talk about that. And so to me, when I thought about that, I said, interesting. Her name is Gabriel Union. So I thought about the Archangel Gabriel, and what do we need to do in order to get into union? So I said, well, let me ask Archangel Gabriel about what are some choices and some roles of the karmic, and what is the DM play as far as getting into union, because I looked up, they're talking about him, talk about Gabriel, and some things that they're saying that in order for you to get help in things, you look to Archangel Gabriel to express yourself with strength, grace, and confidence. You look to Gabriel to balance your masculine and your feminine energies so it can foster creativity and inspiration and results. And then you also look to Gabriel to change your inner dialogue so you can harness courage and charisma and radiate that light to the world. So a lot of times when you're having issues in those areas, this is where you go look to Gabriel to kind of help you out in those areas, to help you get confidence, to help balance your masculine and feminine energies, to have that inner dialogue, to change your inner dialogue, because a lot of us have a lot of negative things that's weighing in on that low self-esteem things. So I just really wanted to kind of just pull a couple of cards. Hold on one second. Okay. All right. So let me just pull a couple of cards. I'll probably do it. The divine feminine, clear. Try to do this. I'm trying to really keep this underneath 30, no more than 35. Okay, so what are the energies, Archangel Gabriel, thank you, does the divine feminine to work with? Isis, that's interesting. Isis, the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Okay, and I've seen someone talking about, it's a lady that I watch that Sun Divine, is it her? Yeah, Sun Divine, clear. And she does the tarots with the sexual, like the Kama Sutra things, positions. That is really, really interesting to see about, you know, what she's saying, how the divine masculine, if you're into that, thank you. If you're into that, pretty much telling you about how he feels sexually about you. That's a really good thing to see. All right, so here we have, this one's Lady of Stars. I pulled from Isis to ask her energy about the backup, just like that, to explain, and healing the divine masculine. So right now we have Lady of the Stars. Sirius, is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at extremely high vibrations. She brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, a high capacity for divine service. She's asked you to pay attention now because something significant is taking place at a spiritual level for you at this time. Okay, so that goes on with that. And then, so pay attention to divine feminines because some things are going on. And healing the divine masculine. The divine masculine within provides protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding, even though at most uncomfortable circumstances of life. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in the ability to offer you inner protection and stability so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. Okay, so that says it, and I don't really need to explain that. Let me see about as far as in divine, and that's funny, divine. Okay, clear. Divine feminine, what is the energies that the divine feminine needs to have right now? A god of action. So right now, I think really we got to kind of really get to this point as divine feminines when we're talking about the energies that's going on. We got to get to action. I think we kind of a little kind of complacent in some ways, especially with this newness. Some of us might be getting to the point that we just really don't actually know what to do with that newness. You know, I told you this week, kind of let your mind kind of think, a lot of brainstorming. Towards the end of this week, I think you should start really thinking about how can you start putting that into action. So maybe we at the towards the end, so we're Wednesday, so we got like Thursday, Friday, you know, start now thinking about, Friday is usually my Friday to Friday forecast. We're starting a new energy coming, and so we're kind of waning down, and I kind of feel that even now. Some of that stuff that I had a hold on me before, that energy is kind of shifting and changing. We got here, I see the goat here. To me, I see some Capricorn and some Aries things. So definitely with that, the Capricorn, we got more so of a groundness, that's an earthness. Fire is one of action, especially material things, about how we can move some things in the physical world. We're going to have to hammer down. We're going to have to put the pin, well, let's say, I got to put that pin pan down. You're going to have to really hammer down and take that electricity with that thunder there and start creating some things and manifesting things in the air. But I see here he's got the reins on it, so that means you got to really have some reins and really know. Let's not go about this very haphazardly as far as what you actually want to actually happen and occur and manifest in the physical. Okay, that's that one. What things do you need to kind of surrender? I want to make sure I say. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Let me see. I want to see where I want this. Let's ask Archangel about making choices. Okay, so in helping to understand about the choices, let's see what some things that we need to surrender in order to get into union. So they say we already got to take some action. Got that. Surrender to creativity. One of these cards already said that. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So we seeing this. It looks like you're gonna have to look into the mirror, into the soul. Look really within to find some of these some of the solutions of the creativity within you that's going to help you transform into getting into this union. So to me, it looks like it's like really use your imagination. So even if we talk about union with self, that's going to help you be able to get into that. Okay. I told myself that in the comics. Okay. Love, clear. What's going on as far as in union for that? Again, stay optimistic about your love life. Remember, divine feminines, you have a lot of things that you can offer to level up. Remember, you are for the prize. I think this came out even earlier about that. Too. You got some things in blossom. You're getting some more knowledge about some things. And so this is where you are right now, divine feminines, which is really at a state of really reaping what you had harvested, and really having your eyes on the prize. Okay, when we're talking about passion and this union, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. I think some of us have kind of really have said, off with this, especially when we think about the divine masculine, or if we are talking about the soulmate, if that's what you're choosing to go, really, if you're going to do it, to me, it's just like really be true to it and be passionate about where you want to go as far as in your love life, where your heart and your soul is singing, and you with joy, follow that joy, because even your divine masculine wants you to even be happy about that. Okay. I'm trying to really see. Gabriel, clear. Tell me, what kind of events do you think that really will be leading us on into union? So right now it's saying, well, this is kind of, okay, emphasis, they said no negative. Okay, so really right now things are going to change. You got the Chariot, an important achievement is going to happen. This is due to some self-discipline you've been doing. You've been doing a lot of work, willpower, and public recognition. To me, it seems like even the outside, your friends, people have really seen these changes. You've been really working on yourselves, divine feminines, and even you're getting recognitions now, even from your friends or outsiders, seeing that you really have been doing it. So this is going to happen very. These changes is happening. Is whatever it is, this change is going to happen. It's going to happen swiftly, and this is due to, again, your self-discipline and your willpower. King of Water, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured. Open your heart and mind. So Archangel Gabriel is saying, well, you got to open up your heart and mind to those around you. Some of you all would say do some sacred work to be able to be connected with others as well. Some of us are still working on this closed up with this heart energy, even being opened up to the divine masculine, whichever way you're thinking about that too. Just opening up that this practice of this forgiveness. Bless him for wherever he is, rather you want to be with him. Those of you all that's in communications with them, there's still some things kind of swarming around that we got to still kind of deal with, that we got to kind of forgive. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. Listen to those people. Either there's readers that you believe are a good trusted friend, that can kind of help you kind of get through this charity work that's really trustworthy. I told you all about these readers. When you all look on these different sites, these channels, make sure they're trustworthy and they feed into your spirit, that's adding to it, not subtracting to it. Charity work. Also, finding ways in which you can kind of get yourself indulged and infused with things going on with other people that can really kind of, I want to say in some ways, kind of distract you as well. But just finding some kind of way of how you can practice being kind to others, having empathy for others, having sympathy for others, putting yourself in their shoes, and doing some work that's really rewarding to you for you, but you don't want anything back in return. Okay, that is one thing that you've got to really kind of think on, is that, I just really want to do this, but I don't want anything in return. That's really practicing unconditional love. Okay, and it seems like, again, with your analytical state, got the man right here in the midst of all this water, is really trying to think of how you're thinking with this brain, this mind. I told you, kind of get out the mindset, but bring it in with the heart. So some kind of way, if you can bring the way you're thinking more so in a way that is more of the softer side of things, bringing in the emotion sides of things, that will be most helpful to you at this point. Because again, you got to find out how to open up your heart as well, so as your mind, to those around you. That even includes the divine, masculine, or, like I said, you don't want him in the physical, but you got to work on some kind of way to let him in. Like I told you, that connection with the 5D set of the DM as well. Don't forget him. Some ways, they're the same, but they're kind of like two different, things. Like I say, one of them, he's the ones with the controller, and the DM is the one that's working in the little game thing that you kind of manipulating and moving around there. Some things that's got to change in order for you to have this union, according to Gabriel. Clear. Remember, Gabriel told you at the beginning, you need to have a balance between the two. Changing your mind. Okay, this is something that's you got to change your mind about how you're seeing things, especially on this journey. Okay. Let me see. Changing your mind. This card means that you've changed your mind about a previous decision and you're struggling with the possible repercussions. Maybe you're worried about what other people may think, or whether you or another will suffer consequences due to your second thoughts. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's look at some things about how can you leading you on to how can you, this is Sean, wisdom's clear. How can you go about that change in your mind? Because something about repercussions, so what was it? So you're thinking about, you don't want to regenerate something, you want to let it go. You're really trying to find a direct way how you floating and going about this sea of love in a specific direction. You don't want to just be floating out there. But then at the same time, you want to go the distance. Let me go on this part. What is this in regards to? Clear. Distant horizon. So something is on the distant horizon. That's what you think. You feeling this. Ooh. Oh, God. You probably got a message through spirit that you really, something said, message. Or some of you all might have gotten some kind of like text. Maybe in communications you actually have talked to him. I see a phone here. A text message, some email, some kind of written form correspondence from him. Now that's funny because really whatever is this message you have gotten here, it could be through spirit, could be also written, that's making you saying you want stability about a certain situation, because the house represents, I remember that saying, stability and security about a certain situation. And it makes you feel like you want to put an end. It's a death to something. Okay. What is this death to something about? Clear. Community. Now, I'm going to take this community being here. You don't want it to be, and I'm going to look at this because sometimes community means three-party situation. Okay, that good. So the karmic kind of showed up itself. So you really want an ending to the three-party situation that's going on. Okay, that's it. You don't want that, and it came in reverse, which means no longer that to be in existence. Okay. So I'm going to ask Archangel Gabriel, because it seemed like the karmic that kind of showed up in this. What should the divine feminine be doing? Clear. Okay, this again. I see a feather here. So the Archangel Gabriel is saying you got to wait for a message from spirit, because this is a feather, which is really angelic. 7 here, I see 27, so that means 2 for unity. 7 means spiritual completion. 9 together means the end of a cycle. So you got to wait for that, and it's going to give you a direction as to where to go, because I see a ship, house, tree, clouds. It's got a star. So they want you to keep on hoping in the meantime about this. Now, it's funny, they got September the 19th here. 1815. Yeah, that's interesting. They got that. I've heard some people say stuff is not going to get to moving until September the 19th. It's going to start May, but July is going to be really, some of them are going to be in union, kind of leave some of these karmic situations to go. It's going to be 2 sets. It's going July going to hit those that don't hit it. Then in September, October is going to be like the next set. Okay, so you got this right here. So right now, for you divine feminines, you got this man. He looks like he's waiting and he's pondering. He's holding his rose, and he's really look like he's barefooted. So he's becoming vulnerable, becoming, to me, kind of grounded. But he don't look kind of wealthy. It's just like taking me as I am, and he's kind of sitting there to me in some way saying, is this going to be enough? Okay, 28. Okay, man, I could be you. It could be you, the reader, or the male subject of your reading. Significator for the male sitter. The females, okay. An elegant looking man sits upon a chair holding a red rose. He appears to be awaiting his companion. In the background, a window lights the scene, which is otherwise unadored. It speaks of waiting, of patience, of a quiet endurance. There is a sensitivity to the scene that communicates the nature of romance. He looks to the left of the card. So he's looking to the left. So to me, in some ways, he's looking for some divine intervention too. He's waiting for this message that the angels or the spirit is going to give him, because he's looking at this card. So he's like, I'm waiting patiently. I just can't move. until I get this sign. You know, like I said, the Bobby Fischer, I can't move till see it. That's funny. Now, the next two cards, they're looking at each other. They're not waiting. Like, she's like, okay, yeah, I'm waiting. And he like, yeah. They go that, like, sexual thing. Like, she looking at him like, you looking good. I'm looking all at you, daddy. Right? Down here, look at, like, ooh, look at that chest. Jesus Christ. I could lay my head right there on that chest. So, right there. So, that's interesting. And they came again here. Oh, they both are the 28. That's 28 and the 28. 28 and 29. Okay, funny. 28 came out too. And we got the series 27, 28, 28, 29. So that means you're leveling up. But somebody's got to stay, the divine masculine's got to stay at this level for a while yet. And then he's going to take off. So he's got one level. He's got to stay there for a while to kind of learn some things. Okay, now you got 28, man number 2. This optional second man card in the revere might be used to provide a specific reference for a reading, or serve for a same-sex relationship, or provide a choice that might better represent the personality of the male subject of the reading. In the second version, a strong-looking man wears a red cloak, his bare chest showing a masculine Mars symbol on a pendant. He looks to the right of the card and appears determined and passionate. The card is lit with a golden background that communicates essential power. So to me, he's waiting for it, but once he gets that sign that he's looking for in this message, he's like, I got it, and I'm going to turn it to this man. As soon as anybody, especially in this three-party situation, he's like, I'm just really waiting for this sign for me to go on here, and I'll move forward and become this man that I'm empowered. Like, I'm going to be standing in my power. Especially when say it's such empower. I'm going to be in my divine masculine. Ain't going to be no wavering, and I'm unsure and not too sure about where I'm going as far as my direction. I'm going to definitely know which way I'm going. And then the next card is the lady. A woman looks up from her book, her thoughts wandering. So you're going to be, there is a commonality of ambience in the mood that connects this woman and this card to its male counterpart. The red rose provides an additional point of connection that binds them. So again, the red rose was in him. She looks like to be, she's at the point that she accepted that rose from him. She's got that, she's waiting too. And it is, that's that connection that's there. It is a token, a gift, something given and received, something shared. Okay. All right. So that is that. So it's something shared. So she's getting some knowledge. It's like, you know, yeah, I'm going on this journey. I'm getting some more knowledge about myself, you know, so I can be I'm standing in my power. So I'm just getting some more knowledge about the situation. But she does lift up her head from the book, because she's deep in her thoughts. You got to watch the divine feminines, because to me it seems like in so many ways, like if you keep on, you might miss out on when he's ready to come, you know. So you got to really, you deep in your thoughts. Don't be so up into your thoughts and your minds that you don't see him coming, you know. Like I say, don't move till you see it clear. Okay, last one is divine Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel. Tell us, what do you want us to know? Okay. And he says, the only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem and back to love. Okay. And I think the other angel said the same thing. Okay. I see 43, 47. So keep that in mind. All right. That is the end of the reading. I tried to do it on 35. I'm sorry. I got interruptions by, that's all I'm going to say. I see 44. So, if you want to read with me, go to my website, www.divineunisoul's11.com. Remember, I'm doing a $7 special for 15 minutes. That's fine. For 15 minutes. And so with that, you can get just a checkup. You know, I really should almost nickname it checkup. Just see where you are in union, see where you are. If you want to just know about you, yourself, about your career, you want me to check into it. You know, just let me know what you want me to do. That's why I always ask you, give me 3 questions that you want me to ask Spirit so I can get those answers for you. All right, thank you. Oh, and before I get off, thank you so very much. We have reached 900 subscribers on the channel. Thank you, thank you. Continue to share, to like, to give your positive feedback down at the bottom. You know, again, share, let people, you know, see it. And also, you know, just tell about the great things that we're doing on here right now. I'm working with the angels. That's my series. So this week is Archangel Gabriel. That's really working with the angels. Last week it was Archangel Raphael. He stepped in. You know, and I think I need to kind of pass on that because, again, remember, they cannot help you unless you ask for their assistance. They're going to sit there just like those roses until you say, roses, you know, I actually need you to help me. Or Gabriel, I need you to actually help me. Okay, or Raphael, I need you to actually help me. Go and do your own research about that. You can't wait for me to go through the series to kind of really see how you can utilize your angels, which one you feel that you kind of resonate, that kind of be the ones that maybe kind of work with you. You know, they kind of shift around sometimes. But remember, again, especially I've heard on other channels, they're talking about, you know, the karmic is putting on these spells or whatever like that, and somebody's watching, you know, and thinking, even if they just the power of them thinking subliminally, or the thought of moving things, I forgot what the word is. Still call on Archangel Michael. He is the protector of twin flames. He is the one that you call on. So if you feel like you're like, okay, some things not coming together, it feels like somebody's kind of manipulating and doing some things, even if you're a twin, even if you're not, he is the one that you will call on for help and assistance for you to protect you. You know, the universe, you ask the universe and Archangel Michael to help you and protect you about whatever's going on. If you're feeling like, you know, is the darkness or some kind of things going on with your significant other, your beloved, and you say somebody this is seeing like it ain't right, it ain't even physical, it look like it's like something's going on in the battle for him, spirit, you know, you can ask for Archangel Michael, say on his behalf, can you please, I know he has to ask for, but if there's any way possible you can kind of move, manipulate some things or whatever to help, that would be greatly appreciated, you know, and they can do as much to protect our union. This is pray. I know where we are, but protect the union between the divine masculine and myself. All right, that is it. I don't want to go over. I already did. So until next time, is there anything else? Just thank you. Love you so much. Thank you for very much. So we got 900. I think last time it was 904 subscribers. So I would love it definitely to get to the 1,000. So I thank you for all the other channels that mention me, and it has helped me to grow, especially, you know, my Jupiter 1111 and other channels that have helped and said, you know, you need to check this out. Thank you so very much. You just don't know. It's so grateful. It seemed like I had got to a point that I had stagnated and I didn't go anywhere. But just, you know, just thank you at this time. So again, till next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago.